You know, I'm really disappointed in this movie, but probably not for the reason you think. Are you trying to tell me this isn't a Bohemian Rhapsody-style biopic about Danish frontman René Dief? I'll just wait here while everybody Googles that joke. Speaking of forgotten things that peaked in the 90s, remember me? Wait, no, not what I meant, but remember that video I did almost exactly a year ago where I laid out the things that the DCEU should try in order to get their act together like they could actually hear me. Except maybe they could, because out of the 5 suggestions I gave, they did 3 of them. Warner Brothers, knock twice if you can hear me. First off, they went for it. Finally, unapologetically, almost mercifully, they finally said, you know what, this is who we are. Here's a movie about a man who can talk to fish, so bask in all the glory, all the awesomeness and stupidity that is Aquaman. And that's one enormous aspect that Warner Brothers and DC kind of forgot about and ruined. The fun. They were trying to be something they weren't. They were trying to be dark and broody, and it ruined the fun. And fanboys, even DC fanboys, have to admit sometimes the stupid is what makes it fun. I mean, my favorite comic book character is a big green dude who talks about himself in the third person. Now granted, DC has had some problems with stupid movies in the past, but stupid for the wrong reasons. And you know what? The stupid in Aquaman never fully took me out of the movie. It didn't ruin the film. And that pretty much proved what I've always been trying to say, that basically if audiences can accept Topo the octopus playing the war drums in a film, they're pretty much going to accept anything. Almost anything. In Aquaman, the embodiment of this weird balance of awesome and stupid comes in the form of Black Manta, an iconic Aquaman villain who looks amazing and iconic on the screen, as if the villain jumped right off the pages onto the big screen. The action is cool, he looks intimidating, the special effects are great, and yet there's just so much stupid there. There's a lot of awesome, but the awesome stops as soon as he opens his mouth. It's kind of the same problem we had with General Ludendorff and Steppenwolf, that they're really one-dimensional, and they prove it more and more the more we see them. So really, DC, you gotta learn that sometimes less is more. And don't get me wrong, Marvel as well has had one-dimensional baddies who do nothing but spew out catchphrases. But all of these villains, Marvel or DC, can just be better than that, and we have to learn that sometimes the look of a villain is enough. And Manta had the backstory, he had the menace, he had the motivation. Just give him some dialogue that didn't constantly make me ask, are you for real? You gotta pull a Darth Maul, make him stand there, look cool, but not really say anything. I'm actually surprised the dialogue wasn't better, because the writing overall was, and that's high praise when it comes to a DC film, at least for me. And it was because, indirectly, once again, DC actually followed one of the suggestions I made and actually gave the story some rich history, some rich characters, and much needed life. They used the tools available. They actually worked with Geoff Johns on the writing. Now, some might say there was too much world building or too much history, but you know what? At least they're trying to expand this universe. Part of this was, for the first time, I really felt like DC in a Warner Brothers film embraced the visuals. And now, granted, some other directors tried, and one time Vegas threw up on a film and they called it Suicide Squad, but no, I'm talking about the sheer artistry that was presented in Aquaman. The costumes, the sets, the underwater worlds, the CG. I mean, where was this joi-de-vivre before DC? This is by far DC's most ambitious film, and it shows. And you know what, DC? You need more of this. You need more of that grandiose nature, the who gives a damn kind of attitude. Give us the visuals, give us the huge fight scenes and the epic battles and the CG monsters and all of that, because the visuals of Aquaman were for the win. So is DC turning things around? Almost. It's as if they're hanging onto the stupid side of the balance just a little too long, and the awesome side's gonna lose out, because every time I enjoyed the over-the-top poetry of Ocean Master, Black Manta would then open his mouth and I would cringe. Every time there was this melodramatic dun-dun-dun, I would actually find myself enjoying the rest of the 80s synth kind of score. And every time Aquaman would read a book and know the difference between the ancient kings and heroes of Rome, he then says he's never read Pinocchio and acts like an idiot. Plus, the cast is a bit of a mix, too. There are some surprises, both disappointing and awesome, because the fact is, Jason Momoa is still a little too much of a bro, but he was less of a bro in this movie, so it seems like they're evolving his character. Dolph Lundgren continues his comeback with Creed 2 and now this film. Patrick Wilson is a really good actor, and I didn't really see him fitting into this role, but I kind of liked him. And the film even features the voices of John Rhys Davies and Julie Andrews. I think since Wonder Woman is the benchmark, people will ultimately ask, is it as good as Wonder Woman? And I will say, yes. Well, kind of. Maybe, I don't know. You know what? It's apples and oranges. It's Civil War versus Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what? I almost went this entire review without mentioning that other company, so I won't do it now. The fact is, they're very different films. And granted, they're changing, they're evolving, they're trying new things, so they're kind of getting there. And you know what? DC made and earned it. Poll question, what's your favorite stupid, awesome movie? As always, leave your answers in the comments section below. But until next time, school's out. Hey Real students, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe to Real School, click that round Real School logo right beside me. Also click that damn notification bell so you're aware of all of Real School's new content. You can follow me on Twitter, and of course, if you get anything out of Real School, you can always give a little back. Just click the link in the description below or the button down there, and you can become part of my Patreon team.